All right, we're going to review the parts of the eye. This eye's already been cut, but here's the anterior view of the eye, so you can see the cornea. You can actually see the iris beneath the cornea. The white is the sclera, and then on the back side, see how well we can get this. Here is the optic nerve right here. I don't know how well y'all can see that. And that's the optic nerve. This eye's already been cut, like I said. We did a frontal cut, so I'm going to remove this. And we have the lens that is attached to the vitreous humor. So the jelly-like stuff is the vitreous humor. The lens is this marble-like structure, and you can actually see part of the black there. That is part of the ciliary body that would be attached to the lens. The ciliary body is an intrinsic eye muscle that controls the shape of the lens. It is controlled by cranial nerve number 3, the oculomotor nerve. And the anterior part of the eye, you can see part of the choroid. The black is the choroid, and you can see how it's sort of fringy looking here. That is the ciliary body or the ciliary muscle that is attached to the lens. You can see the hole, and underneath the hole where my probe is pointing, that is the cornea. If I move my glove so you can see it a little bit better, you can see the cornea here. The hole is the pupil, and if I pull this out, you can see the brown part that is directly in front of, or directly around where the pupil is. So my probe is through the pupil. These are very slippery. My probe is through the pupil. The brown part that is surrounding the pupil, that is the iris. The iris is the other intrinsic eye muscle that's controlled by the oculomotor nerve. The white is the ora serrata. The ora serrata is basically like a junction between the choroid and the sclera. You can also see part of the ora serrata on this view. So where the white is, this is the ora serrata. So this is a posterior view of where the cornea is. Where my pointer, or where my probe is, this is the cornea. This is the anterior view. You can see the cornea, the sclera. Well, this is a membrane. The white part is the sclera. Okay. Then we have in the posterior chamber, so the vitreous humor would sit in the posterior chamber like this, and it would lay flat against the retina in the back of the eye. You can see part of the retina where it has sort of bunched up. That is the neural tunic that has the photoreceptors. And where it sort of bunches up, if we pull this up a little bit, you can see where it's attached to the back, and if I flip that over, it'd be where the optic nerve is leaving. It's difficult to see, especially on this video, especially when my hands are in the way, but that's where the retina is attached, and the optic nerve leaves the back. When I scrape up the retina, you can see the black, that's the choroid, and this sort of, it doesn't look very blue in this video, but this very shiny part, this opalescent part that's in the back, that's called the tapetum lucidum. You would see that in animals that have to see in low light level situations. Now if I scrape part of the choroid up here, the black, if you scrape it away, you can actually see the sclera underneath. So going from the outermost tunic, the sclera, then the choroid is the middle tunic, also called the vascular tunic because it has all the blood vessels. And then the retina is the innermost tunic of the eye, and that's called the neural tunic because that's where the photoreceptors are.